Hey, what's going on, guys? Sully here, and today I'm going to be walking through my reverb throw rack. I've used this rack in pretty much every single production that I've put out up to date, and I'm super excited to be sharing it with you guys. There's going to be a free download available in the description for both Ableton 11 and Ableton 12 users, and it's just such a good rack to add dimension and space into your mix, and I'm going to be showing you guys a couple different ways that I use it. So let's get into it. All right, to give you guys a brief look at what my verb throw rack does, I've loaded in a little sample here, and I'm just going to play this bass one-shot sample with and without the reverb throw so we can listen to the difference. So this is without, and this is with it. All right, so a great way to add color and space and dimension to a sound. And this has become an absolute staple in my productions. I think it's great for adding something to the mix without actually adding another element. Instead, you're using the space to create more depth and interest in your song. We have a couple of macros here. The first one is going to be this throw AF knob. The throw AF knob is hooked up to a few different parameters across a few stock plugins. So as I twist it from left to right, the first thing is going to be a auto filter that's going to gradually cut out low and low mid frequencies while also boosting a little bit of resonance. In addition to that, it's going to be running into a reverb with just some custom settings that I thought sounded good. What you'll notice is on the dry wet, it'll never exceed 50%. So you always get a nice blend of the original dry signal and the wet signal. Obviously, the decay size is hooked up to this second macro here, so you can really get crazy with the throw length if you want to. The next thing is it's going to run into another EQ that's going to shelf out more low and low mid frequencies. Last but not least, we have our compressor at the very end of the chain here, and I think this is where the rack gets all of its flavor. So as we turn this throw AF knob up and the reverb starts to increase in terms of dry and wet, what happens simultaneously is the threshold on the compressor squashes the signal gradually more and more as the throw AF knob comes up. In addition to that, we also compensate on the backside of the compressor with output gain. So the effect is that you get this reverb thinned out signal from the filtering and the reverb. And then that signal is being squashed by the compressor, causing that reverb to almost inflate in your face. I'm going to show you guys an example of this in a little demo that I'm working on. So to demonstrate this effect, I'm going to zero in on this drop group that I have for my Russian Cream by Key Glock flip. And I'm just going to start out by playing the drop with and without the reverb throw so you guys can hear the difference. You can see the automation here, and this is where the device is at. It's just on the entire drop group. So let's listen to it with and without, and I'll kind of turn it on and off. I'm going to mute the vocals just because I don't want to get flagged by YouTube. But yeah, the flip is available on my Patreon if anybody's interested in downloading it. So here we go. This is what it sounds like without it. Right, so just it sounds like a basic idea, but this reverb throw adds a whole bunch of space and dimension. Let's take a listen to that. Right, again, that's dry. Right, so there's a huge difference when that reverb throw is turned on and off. And what I'm doing in this remix specifically, it's pretty minimal. You know, with the vocals, it sounds a lot better because the vocals are the main driving force in the song. But the way I'm using it is, you know, just this very simple bass line. And I'm triggering the reverb throw to turn on and start automating every couple of hits, every few hits. And I'm using the drums as pivot points. So we have this reverb throw here kind of swelling up into the next snare. This is probably the most common way that I like to use it. Just because, and if you listen through my discography, it is in so many of my songs. It's just a great way to add movement in your bass line. So again, we're playing it here, and then you're going to hear this hit in particular. We'll take a look at. You're going to hear it snap on the snare here. Right? So it just gets just inflates a bunch of reverb and then it gets super dry again, which I really love that effect. Again, it's like a boomerang. Like, you know, the boomerang is the reverb and you're just throwing it and then it's coming back and hitting you in the face. I love that effect. Another really cool way that you can use reverb throw is, let's take reverb throw and let's put it on the snare. One of the most common ways that I like to use it is, you know, maybe every 4th snare, or 8th snare, or 2nd snare, whatever you want to do, you could automate a reverb throw to add variation in your drums. So just for starters, that's what it sounds like. But then this 4th snare comes in right here, and we get that little swell. It's almost like adding some kind of a little sweep, but you're using the actual tail of your clap slash snare instead. So those are probably 2 of my favorite ways to use reverb throws, but you can use these on one-shots, any bass sounds really, vocals. It's such a versatile tool that you can add to your toolkit, and it's just going to add dimension and flavor to your songs. Thanks for watching, guys. That is my Ableton reverb throw rack. Again, it's available for a free download below in the description. Make sure you guys sign up for the Patreon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video, and make sure that you let me know down in the comments below what kind of content you want to see next.